Hi, good morning. This is Teacher Rosewin, and I will be your teacher for instructional materials for science teaching. What's in my class? Most essential competencies are set. We all know that we are still experiencing the pandemic. That's why the most essential competencies will only be covered in our subject. One lesson video will be prepared per week, and it will be given to you. Tasks are given after two videos. Assignments and quizzes will be done using the quizzes application. You may use your Android phones and install the quizzes app, and I will send you the link of our quizzes classroom. Now, let us enjoy learning. As future science teachers, we are not just going to teach science topics and concepts. So, we must use different materials and integrate technology into teaching and learning. In that way, we are able to deliver the topics well. And of course, since we are the 21st century teachers, skills must be used, especially in technology. Let me share to you one line from Jonathan. Technology is more than a hardware. Technology consists of the designs and the environment that engage learners. Now it's your task to use technology in engaging learners in your subject, most especially in science. Let us go over the word technology. I know you are all familiar with this, but let us talk over what is its etymology. So it comes from the Greek word techne, which means craft or art. Technology in teaching. It is a planned, systematic method of working to achieve planned outcomes. It is a process, not a product. When we talk about technology here, we do not focus on computers, on calculators, but it may refer to microscopes, projectors, we have force table. Those are product of technology. Now we have to talk about planned, systematic method of working. Why? Because in your lesson plan, all the instructional materials or materials to be used in your class must be indicated. So you must plan it first before directly using those materials because you have to go back to your objectives. What are the things that you want your learners to learn? And it is a process, not a product. We have to integrate education technology in our subject. Learners become aware, appreciative, and more equipped to use educational technology tools ranging from traditional to modern educational media. Remember that before using that certain tool or technology, you have to have a knowledge on how to use it before giving it to your students. Here are the objectives of our lesson. Impact skills in planning, designing, using, and evaluating the technology-enriched teaching learning process. I know that you are all familiar with the instructional materials that may be applicable to a certain lesson, but I hope after this lesson, this will re-evaluate those knowledge that you have on using the instructional materials, since there are different factors that we will have to or that we will consider. Here are some of the topics: technology, media and learning, ICT national or international policies, role of technology in teaching and learning, the cone of experience, the Bloom's revised taxonomy, and the 21st century skills. Here are the tasks of a science teacher when using educational technology: introducing, reinforcing, supplementing, and extending. There are some materials where students are not familiar of. So we have to introduce the materials to the students before letting them use. So that's the time when we let them use, you are reinforcing your students to use such technology in a certain topic. And supplementing. When we talk about supplementing such material, since there is no one material that will be solely used in science subject. You may use another materials so that you can deliver more the topic and students will be more um, learned of the uh, discussion and extending. So maybe if you have more time, we may extend the use of the materials. And later on, when you are already in your specific fields, you may apply this one, extending. The knowledge and skills to learners so that they can become exemplary users of educational technology. So sooner or later, you'll be assigned to different schools, may it be junior high school or senior high schools. So I hope that you will use your knowledge and skills so that learners may apply it, most especially in senior high schools. If you're assigned in a STEM class, you really have to use a wide range materials so that your students will be more familiar when they are going to enroll in college. And this is one that I would also like to emphasize, that students, or yeah, maybe teachers, must have deeper understanding of the computer as well as hands-on application of computer skills. We do not simply teach the subject, but we are also bombarded with paperworks. And computer skills is very highly demanding in the Department of Education. Not just in the Department of Education, but also in all teaching fields. And aside from that, computer skills is also necessary in teaching, because if you do not know how to make a PowerPoint slideshow, well, you have to know it. Our subject primarily focuses in enhancing teaching and learning through technology integration. So I hope that all of you will learn more about instructional materials and also of the use of technology. In this way, we can help our learners to adopt and meet rapid and continuing technology changes in information and communication technology environment. So this is one of the tasks, the challenging tasks as teachers. And I hope you will accept the task. Here is one of the objectives: to learn to use and evaluate computer-based educational resources. To acquaint students on information technology or IT-related learning theories with the computer as a tutor. To engage learners in practical technology integration issues, including managing IT classrooms, use of the internet for learning, cooperative learning through the use of information technology, and others. To inculcate higher level thinking and creativity among students while providing them knowledge of IT-related learning theories. This course is primarily intended for the use of student teachers, a great use to professional teachers, school administration, teacher, educators, in fact, anyone who is interested in how information technology can be used to improve not only instruction but the school management program and the curriculum itself. So brace yourselves and let us all together learn about the subject. Now, let us discuss about educational values of audiovisual aids. So, what do you think about audiovisual aids? According to Niraha, an audiovisual aid is an instructional device in which the message can be heard as well as can be seen. Here is the diagram showing the classification of audiovisual aids, which is of three: audio aids, visual aids, and audiovisual aids. So we have radio, tape recorder, gramophone, audio CD for audio aids. For visual aids, you have chart, picture, models, and so on. For the audiovisual aids, we have projectors, TV. Some may have virtual classroom, multimedia room. So those are the different audiovisual aids that you may use in your teaching learning process. If you have that in your classroom or in your um, school, you may utilize that. One reason for using the audiovisual aid is to help clarify important concepts. In choosing a certain AV aid, you have to go back to your objective because this will route or direct you to clarify the concept that is or that cannot be easily discussed, or that is more um, reinforced by a certain audiovisual aid, so that your students will learn the topic well. Science students need to understand the things by experiencing the real thing, or at least the substitute of the real thing. So this is one of the purposes of the instructional materials or the realia that you are going to use. Science students, or most of the students, learn more when they can see or hear the things that you are discussing. So when we talk about cells, so of course you do not just simply draw the cell on the whiteboard or the green board. You also have to let them see the cell inside a certain organism, or yeah, a plant organism. So that's time that you may use different materials. You may use the microscope. You may also use prepared slides and everything that you can use in order to uh, let your students learn about that topic. To arouse and sustain students' interest. So this is the one thing that I observe when I use, or the teacher uses a certain instructional material in which students are not familiar of. So most of their eyes and ears are on you and the materials that you're going to use. We know that some of the topics in science are not that interesting, so it's your time to let them be interested on the discussion by using those materials. And it's up to you on how to use that material. Students need to experience the thing through their multisensory because they will be more motivated than those who have narrower opportunity. When you have the materials inside your laboratory room, it's your task as teachers to use them and not just to lay them aside in your laboratory rooms. Because when you use those materials, students will notice your effort, and in that way, aside from the effort, in that way, they will be more interested in the subject, most especially when the topics are not that well explained, and most of the things they are just going to imagine. So you really have to use different materials so that their interest will be aroused. Number three, to give all students in a class the opportunity to share experiences necessary for new learning. So this is one thing that you should also take note, because maybe if you have 40 to 50 students in a class, you have to remember that you have to provide opportunity to all of your students, not just one, two, or three, or not just the smartest, or not just the your favorite. So you have to provide opportunities for all of them and let them share on what are the things that they have experienced in your classroom. And of course, when you group them, you also have to check them one by one. So you may just as simply ask, um, what are you doing now? So you have to do this, you have to do like that. So it is better to have this one than this material. So you have to check on them, and in that way, you will provide them, all of them, the opportunities to uh, experience. With the use of audiovisual aids such as pictures, films, recordings, and others, students are given opportunity to share their experiences. Not just in science subject, but all of the subjects actually need instructional materials. So I have observed that in English, they are having the vlog, while others do recording, and all those materials wherein you have to really let your student have the opportunity to experience, and then again you have to let them share what are their experiences. In that way they will be more participative. Yes. Number four, to help make learning more permanent, students tend to remember the topic more when they hear and see them. Even us, it's the same scenario. When we see or hear the things that we experience, we actually remember them more. So that is why we have to use instructional materials or the realia when we teach a certain topic. Not just let our students imagine things, because they cannot easily remember those. Clarity of expression through visual images is retained longer than verbal instruction. So again, you have to use visual images or the materials that may be applicable to the topic, rather than just discussing certain concepts. Then your students are just looking at you, imagining things. Um, you even don't know if they really can remember the things that you have said. So you have to use materials and realia. Well, that ends my discussion. I hope you learned something. Please install the quizzes application in your phone and enroll as student. I will send to you the link so that you'll be inside our classroom. I will send to you the question later in our group chat in Messenger. Thank you and have a great day. Bye bye. See you soon.